Hello again. This is Marcus with Aquarium Hacks by Marcus. Um, just want you to know that I do from time to time do use uh, chemical filtration. Very seldom though. Very seldom. Take for instance, I'm moving this 40-gallon breeder tank. I'm going to move it over, and I have already did the work, but I'm moving it over, and so that I can make room for this 90-gallon tank to be on the wall. Now, the only time that I use chemical filtration is because when you move a tank and you got all your detritus, you're moving all your sand or rocks, your plants or anything like that. That stuff comes. You'll have a lot of detritus that will be floating all in your tank, and your tank will be really off balance. And so when that happens, the best thing to use is chemical filtration. Now, chemical filtration definitely has its spot in the aquarium hobby. And like I said, I do use it if I'm doing some kind of major breakdown, like I did of this 40-gallon breeder. So what I do is I just get some fine poly filter floss, just like this, put that on top. And then, of course, I will use carbon and a combination of Purigen, which is on the very bottom there. But anyway, you probably can't see it in the camera. Well, there it is. And a Purigen on the very bottom. So fine poly filter pad on top, just barely there, and then in a hang on the back usually. And this hang on the back will be here just temporarily, as it helps to clarify and clean things up in the tank due to the fact of this large move. And so I will run this usually like this for about 24, 48 hours. It's really good, to be honest about it, to go about 3 days. If you go 3 days and run this, your water will be crystal clear. It's going to clear all that detritus out of there. Now, what I also do is on the bottom of my filters, usually only because I have shrimp, I will put some kind of foam pad on the bottom, some kind of pre-filter, okay, on the bottom. Now, what's interesting about this, if you're going to use, shall I say, bacteria in a bottle, and may I say, which I don't usually use bacteria in a bottle. I just don't have too much faith in it. But if I was going to use bacteria in the bottle on this tank, just to get things restarted back again, which I shouldn't have to, because I saved just about all my biological filtration, all my biological media. But if I was going to get it started back again on this tank, I would probably use Fritz Zyme 7 or Dr. Tim's biological booster. In which I might actually order some Fritz Zyme 7 and pour it in there and see if it does anything or not, or some Dr. Tim's. Fritz is cheaper, but the thing is, if you are going to use some kind of biological supplement because you move your tank down, you broke down your filter, you had to do all these other things, and so you feel like maybe your biological filtration needs a boost. Well, if you're going to do that, and if you're using a pre-filter like I'm doing over here, this pre-filter, wait until you get done using your pre-filter. Okay, so whether it takes you a day or 3 days to get done using your pre-filter, after that, then you want to add your biological supplements, okay, such as Fritz or Stability or whatever you may want to choose to add. Because if there is some bacteria that is alive in that bottle, you don't want it attaching itself to something you're going to throw away or not going to use for very long. It's like such as this filter floss. When you pour this stuff in your aquarium, it's going to attach to whatever it can. Okay, so you don't want it attached to this filter and then start growing there. But you want it to attach to your main filters that has your biological media in it, because you're going to be throwing this stuff right here away. So you want to make sure you add it afterwards. Otherwise, you will have it actually grown on this. It'll be growing on that. It'll be growing on this. But you want all of it to be grown on things that's going to stay in your tank, not on the stuff that you're treating your tank with chemically, or such as carbon and Purigen and this fine filter floss right here. And so that's just a little information that I wanted to give out about the only time that I do use chemical filtration, when I'm doing a tank breakdown, where I had to move my filter, put my filter in some water, keep it saturated. And so if I'm doing something like that, moving everything around, then yes, I do use chemical filtration to clean things back up. Now on this 90-gallon tank, I will probably do the same thing. This is a really big job here. because this is our acrylic tank. So when I break it down, I'm going to rebuff it back out, re-clean it back up, get it shiny again, and while it's all empty, and then do that. So here again, I will use a a filter that will have chemical filtrations, this is carbon and purigen, and fine filter floss such as polyfill, which you can get that at Walmart. And so I will use it again and let it clean up this tank again for the next 2 or 3 days. And if I decide to add some biological supplements, I will wait until I'm done with the pre-filter, or when I'm done with the chemical filtration. Then I will add my biological supplements in it. That is, if it's even necessary for me to do it, because I usually do my best to save all my media, all my biological media, to get the tank back going again. And so, but if you're going to do that, you definitely want to do it just what I had mentioned before. And so it's going to be a big job. It's going to take a lot of time. And so it'll be a little while before I make another video. But I might be able to stop for a moment or two as I got the tank broke down and show you some things that I'm doing on it. But anyway, this is Marcus with Aquarium Hacks, and hopefully this little hack and these little ideas will give you something to work with. All right, keep on hacking and have a good one.